Roger that, I'm Jill. Well, this time we're going to have an interesting little series of videos to convert a camper trailer of 28 feet into a sailboat trailer. So let me show you. Yeah, so we're going to take this 28-foot camper trailer frame. I want to convert that into a roadworthy sailboat trailer for my 24-foot CNC sailboat. So stick along for the ride. I'm going to take you through every step of the way. Okay, so here's the plan, the basic diagram that I've sketched out in order to get my trailer all done. There's already been some changes, as you can tell. We have posts here for the entrance to the guide rail. So let's go through this for a moment. I've got a 28-foot trailer here, and my sailboat is 24 feet long, right? Now here is the winch post. That leaves approximately 4 feet. Yeah, it's a little less than 4 feet now, but that's going to fit my entire boat. And the taillights here, you know, will be pretty well even with the stern. And that's desirable. You don't want your boat, you know, extending way too far. Okay, so the basic trailer that I'm copying is built sort of like this, plus wheels, of course. So anyway, these are the crossbeam posts which will hold the guide rails, and then of course there's going to be this here. Now the posts that will have the threaded rod and the plates which will support the hull of the boat are located here in yellow, right? And if you want the measurements to all of this and you're building something the same, well, the measurements are on. Just pause the video here and take a picture of it. You're more than welcome to that. In this diagram here, you see the trailer that I'm copying, and let's move that slightly. And here's a drawing of my boat in its cradle. So one of the things, of course, that is important, very important, is how high the current support posts are for the hull. You want to know the height of these things and compare them to the ones that you're trying to copy, right? You want the posts to be able to meet the hull and support it at the appropriate locations. So I've already determined that. I've taken the appropriate measurements, and it's going to match my hull, right? So don't forget to do that. That's pretty important. All right, so now that you've seen the plans and the photographs of what we're going to build, I'm just going to show you a couple of the details that I've already marked on the trailer to get organized. Here is going to be the winch post at the front. We're going to have a cross beam right here in front of the wheels. Now, if you're wondering, the keel is going to sit about here in between the wheels, so that'll support majority of the weight of the boat. Another cross beam right here. The keel ends here, so it's perfectly lined up. And the last beam that'll accommodate all of the remaining keel supports will sit here, and that's about 50 inches from the back, and that's exactly the length that I need to reach the end of my hull. At the back here, I'm going to leave these extended maybe a little bit shorter, and the taillights are going to get mounted inside of that, so it'll be nice and protected. I've got some diamond plate in order to make some nice sturdy wheel wells that I'll be able to stand on should I need to. And so the first part that has to happen here is to cut off all of the excess material that we really don't need here. We don't need these here, although I do need a cross member like that at the back of this rear wheel. And then the rest of them pretty well get all cut out. All of this, front one as well. And the remaining of the frame is going to remain as is, except for the additional cross member that we need. So it'll just provide additional strength, and it really doesn't create any other issues. All right, let's get started. This morning. Anyway, I wanted to show you I've cut off all the extra little bits and pieces. I still have a few little things to clean up, but the big cross members or extenders that are usually required for a camper and are no longer required are all cut off. So now it's time to start grinding and planning to weld the cross members first of all, and then of course, sorry, the post for the winch. So before I do any of that, I'm gonna remove all these sharp edges that are left off from cutting them off, and then it'll be time to clean things up for the welding part. All right, we're at the cutting bench here, grinding bench, whatever. It's my grinding bench, but I've got the various tools that I can set up on it. And this Evolution chop saw is one of them. And so now I've got a piece of 4x4 tubing here, which is 1/8 of an inch thick. And the distance between the rails on my trailer is 62 and 15/16. So that's the measurement that I'm gonna cut this at, so that it fits snugly, but not too tight, right? So I need that little bit of space. Everything's ground down already and ready to go for welding. So now it's time. I'm going to cut the first one and try it out and see how it fits before I go stupid. Okay, so I've got to cut those posts for the hull support, and they need to be 80 degrees. So I've got a 45 and a 35 degree block here. I made sure that it's nice and square, and to make sure that it's square to the blade, what you do is you simply take a square, run along the edge, and as you see, it is nice and tight all over this. So now that part is done. It's a matter of cutting all those support posts. I Now, I know someone's going to pipe up and say, well, I don't have any angle blocks. Well, go and steal your kid's protractor, okay? And set it at 80 degrees. Make sure you have a surface to make sure it's flat. And see, set it flat, and then you should be even with the edge of your saw. There you go. So here's what I've got is my keel posts, and you can see there I've got them all marked. These two 40 inches go to the back, 34 inches go to the front, and the 32s go in the middle. These are all the angle iron supports, and everything here has an 80-degree cut at the bottom. Okay, I'm moving right along here. I've got all my pieces cut, and now I've got the winch post cut. And I thought I'd mention that we're dealing with a trailer that's going to end up being submerged, in this particular case in salt water. So it's important for that water to come out. So make some grooves on each side of your post, all of them, in order for the water to evacuate, all right? So it's pretty important. And this is what they look like. Okay, they don't need to be enormous or looking wonderful or anything like that, but they do need to let the water out. All right. I've now tacked all of my guide rail posts, and the last one that I need to put in is the one at the back that's going to support the angled entrance to the guide rail. So it's gonna go here, almost at the end. Give me a really nice, near over 5 feet. It's gonna give me over 5 feet to get into the guide. So that's pretty ideal. Now you can see how wide the entrance to these guide rails are gonna be. So that's really what I wanted. Commercial ones are usually a little bit shorter, but I've got the distance, so why not use it? Well, I was racing against the clock. I've got the remnants of Hurricane Debbie here that are gonna hook to strike. In fact, the rain has just started. So I didn't do any full weld on, but all of my pieces are tacked. So that's a great thing. I've got a support to put down here. I've got to fabricate that tomorrow and then tack it in place. So this is the progress for today. All right, I just cut the support for my winch post. Here it is, about 30 inches long from the long ends. And that puts it right about here. So I wanted to show you this because this was where a battery cradle was. And you're gonna find stuff like that for anything that's covered, metals touching and whatnot. Of course, it looks like the road salt obviously got to it. So if you're gonna buy a used trailer, you better expect to encounter stuff like this. That means you need to deal with it, right? I mean, a support post needs strength. Okay, well, the last update. Then discovered that the center beam was just too rotten on the bottom. And I decided to change it up for a 4x4 beam like I've got here on these cross beams. And that's gonna be 6 foot long, nice and strong. I'm gonna put another cross beam here, another 4x4. And so now that is gonna be like super strong. And for sure, I'm gonna pass the inspection on this thing and know that it's really safe. Now that I've got the cross beam in place, it's just supported by a 2x4 that's held in place by a clamp on both sides so that it's where it needs to be. That rear piece is cut to size. It's gonna be straightened up and welded. All of this stuff's gonna be re-welded in place, but on this nice solid 4x4. Oddly enough, these pieces only go about 1/4 inch inward. So I'm gonna tack them in place, but I'm gonna add a 1/4 inch steel plate on the underside, just to make sure that it gets the support that it needs. Let's continue. All right, so the last clip, I basically showed how this was going to be put together, was able to weld everything in place. And that includes welding underneath as well, right? So all of this is done. And I did mention I was going to put a cross support here, 1/4 inch plate. And that is done, welded top and bottom. So now that this is done, you can see the whole thing is pretty well assembled as far as the framing goes.